Hi, my name is Billy Graham Jr.
When I was growing up, everybody thought I was going to be an actor. They're like, you're funny, you should go be an actor. I was like, I can't be an actor, can't you see? What is my purpose? If you're like me, I lost my purpose. I didn't know who I was. I let society put me in a box. I don't want you to be in the box anymore. Because you and you only are the one carbon copy. There is no other you. So how can you be in a box if it's only one you? So you need to steal your power back. Because we gave it to somebody. I want you to say, steal your power back. Steal your power back.
Mr. Graham said, I am an original, I'm not a photocopy.
You are where it begins. It begins with you and only you. You are the director. You are the author of this book. Nobody should be writing your life story. You are the winner. See, a lot of us, we get caught up in wondering when we're supposed to do something, why we're supposed to do something, where we're supposed to begin. But I'm telling you, you are the author of your book, and that's all that matters.
My time here in Kenya has been amazing. Everybody has welcomed us with open arms ever since we landed. Nothing but hospitality, nothing but family. We felt like we were home.
What's up, what's up, what's up? And welcome to the Billy Graham Jr. TV show. Man, I am so glad to see you all again tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a long week. We're in a new year, first episode of the new year. Welcome to 2022. And man, talking about starting off the year with a bang, I have a gentleman today that is all about legacy. And if you know me, I am all something for those that are coming behind you. Now, I could go in and tell this gentleman's story, but I would probably do it a disservice. And speaking of service, we're going to touch into that because this man has been serving us for a long time in many ways. And now he switched gears and he's serving the community in another way, leaving legacy. He is the owner of Brown Financial Freedom Legacy. I have to introduce you to our guest tonight, Don Brown. Ah, man, look like we might be having a little. And oh, there you go. I was like, oh, did we lose him? What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man? A pleasure to be on here, brother.
Man, we thank you for showing up. We thank you for being here with us. And before we even get started, can you introduce yourself? Tell the audience who you are. Let us know who Don is.
Who Don is? How much time we got?
Hey, we got enough time as you need.
Like you already said, my name Don Brown. Recently just retired from the Air Force, just a little under 21 years back in September. We live in Dayton, Ohio area, where I'm married, have 3 children, 2 daughters and 1 son. I'm also in ministry. I'm a minister of the gospel as well. So I love to teach. I love to help. I love to serve. I just had that service hat in many different avenues. That's a quick intro, but I don't know exactly what else you wanted.
Now, you said quick intro. That wasn't a quick. That was a lot of an intro. You already, man. For one, thank you for your service because I was finna get in. I need me one of those DD-214 shirts because I didn't do the whole 21. I only did 20 years in the Air Force. My Air Force brother. Welcome to the show. Got my mom in the building. Got Raven here, my boy Alex, all the way in Africa. Done. You got people in Africa watching you. Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you for joining us, Alex. Man, the DD-214, 21 years of service. We thank you for your service, man. And you stay and you're in Ohio. In the cold. Is it cold up there right now?
We got a little snow. We just got some snow earlier today, but we can't complain. It's been sunny out here, you know, for Christmas and New Year. So, but you know how it is.
So before we dive into the Brown Financial Freedom Legacy, I gotta know, because I'm pretty sure this 21-year Air Force career, because I know how my life got impacted, and I heard you said you like to teach and everything. How did your Air Force career play a part in becoming who you are today?
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, we got time. We got time.
That's a huge package, man. Wow. So I joined the military at 18, man. So I came in as a kid. You know what I mean? I grew up. I'm from Cleveland. You know what I mean? So I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. Graduated from Syfe High School. Grew up in those mean streets, man. But I always saw myself outside of Cleveland. So the military was one avenue. You know, like my dad, he served in the Marines, and my uncle, he served in the Air Force. You know, so that's kind of how I even got the picture of like, oh, the military, like I could do something outside of college right away, you know what I mean? Even though I was smart in school, I knew I wasn't going to be disciplined enough to go straight to college. So I was like, man, let's get this trade, you know, learn this, get to travel and all of that. So that's something that I wanted to do from probably about a junior. My 10th grade, 11th year, I kind of already knew what I was going to do. Took the ASVAB test, passed and everything. And once I found my job, you know, it was electrical systems is what I had picked up, but little did I know I was going to have to climb poles and all that other stuff. But it was an awesome journey, man. The military really, really taught me a lot, from discipline, being dependable, learning so many different trades. You know what I mean? So electrical was just one part of it, you know. But as I, you know, matriculated through the military and seen some leadership, seen some teaching opportunities, I think that kind of launched me into a pad of where now I start teaching in church and got licensed and, you know, hosted some financial peace classes and things like that while we were in Japan. So I had a lot of opportunities. Even while I was in Japan, I was able to get the opportunity to serve and be our group training manager. So just to be able to be in that atmosphere, dealing with about 14 career fields, you know, that really opened my eyes to even see the bigger picture of not just electrical, but everything in CE, period. Understand their crafts more and be able to not only understand it, but be able to point those guys that are going and upgrade training in the right direction and make sure they were successful. So it really taught me and gave me some opportunities.
Man, it's funny you said that, because I want everybody to catch on to what he said right at the end. He had the opportunity to not just stay in, based on what I'm understanding, you were in CE because you said electrical, but you were able to do training manager at the end. And I want people to understand something about me. You heard everything he said about training manager. Now, you might wonder why I'm laughing so hard, because of the simple fact, the last 15 years of my Air Force career, I was a training manager. So that's how I am like I am. Like he said, it makes you open your mind to have to deal with so many different people, so many different diversities. Like, it's people from all around the world, and then they're put in different career fields, so they think different. Think about a job. A fireman obviously thinks different than a lawyer, but if you work with those different people all the time, you're going to start picking up different things. And I wanted to say that because I want everybody to understand you have to network. The Air Force, because it's funny you said that you weren't going to college because you didn't think you were disciplined enough, and then you picked the career path that made you disciplined. So either way you put it, the discipline was going to come. But you said it in so many ways. The Air Force kind of forced us to network. And there's some of you out there that aren't in the environment that forces you to network. You need to get out of your comfort zone and start networking yourself, because that's how you broaden those horizons. And that's how, as Dunn said it, it helped him understand different people in different situations and got him into teaching those individuals. But with that being said, you did the 20 years with, thank you again, but it led you to start Brown Financial Freedom Legacy. And I noticed at the beginning of how you started when you got in the Air Force, you went down the same legacy because you had family members already in the military. And 21 years later, you're starting another legacy for those coming behind you.
Oh, that's deep.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm happy
I'm
you're
the
doing
first
that
one to
because I did the same
retire
thing.
from
I
the
did my time in the Air
military.
Force,
That's deep.
and I looked at my kids like, I did it, so you don't have to. So I had to start some myself. But now you're starting this financial freedom legacy. Tell us what got you started with Brown Financial Freedom Legacy.
So it started back some years ago, man. It's been some years in the making. But I would say, you know, one of my high school teachers, he was one of the ones I think that put the nugget there, you know, as well as one of my bishops, the late great Bishop Larry Manning. He was one of the other ones that kind of taught me a lot of things when it comes to dealing with finances, setting your house in order. So even though in the military we knew about life insurance and stuff like that, but investments and things like that is something that I wanted to do. That wasn't passed on to my family. So I wanted to make sure not only can I, you know, start something and create that generational wealth for my family, but help other cousins, uncles, aunties, as well as anybody in our community. That's something that we really, really, you know, I really love doing. Of course, everybody's not willing to, you know, listen or take that advice or whatever, but at least giving it freely. And for a long time, I didn't charge. I helped people with budgets. I did financial peace classes. I know we helped people save, you know, about $2.2 million. So that was a big thing to be able to get people to get together on one common goal. And we were disciplined enough to, you know, pay off our debt, start investing money, start just dreaming bigger, and doing different things like that. So that was something that really, really got me excited. And now the military kind of paved the way to be able to kind of start this. But I know we didn't really say, you know, kind of how we were going to do this, but I want to say what really, really pushed me to do this, man. And I got to be real because I was a workaholic in the Air Force. The majority of my career, you know, serving, helping a lot of people, pouring into a lot of people. I was very selfless, but who caught the short end of that stick a lot of times was my family. Even though I did that to provide for my family, looking back now, it's like, man, I wish I would have spent more time. So 2021, man, really, really rocked us. You know, so I didn't come here to really cry, but I may do it, I may not do it. But 2021 really, really taught us a lot. And it really taught me to put things in perspective because before that point, I thought I always had time. I always thought my mom would be here. And she had a heart condition, but it was never, no signs, no doctors ever told us that her life could have been cut short. So that was something for me that really, really rocked my faith. It rocked me to the core, and it made me really take a knee and really, really put things in the right perspective to be like, all right, I did all of this for family and serve my country, but now it's time to really, really pour back into myself, you know, self-care, and then pour into my family. So that was something that really, really pushed me to want to retire and to get something like this launched off the ground, to really, really not just to be a workaholic, but to make sure I'm really doing what I'm supposed to be doing and I'm leaving things in place, you know, because it really, really made me think, did I really have all my stuff in order? You know, did my wife know like all my passwords and all of that different kind of stuff? I took care of everything, but it made me really start writing stuff down and just making sure if something was to happen, I needed to make sure she was going to be taken care of. So that kind of got me to kind of where we at right now, and with the grace of God and a lot of the people that really surrounded us, man, that really, really, because I went through a big depression, a lot of PTSD and a lot of other stuff, identity. It was a whole nine. I think I might have to come back on for another show to do all of that, but it really, really pushed me into being able to do this, though.
You dropped a bunch of nuggets right then. For one, I swear, I don't know if it's the Air Force part, but our lives almost mirror each other. So once again, just praying for you and your family, because we all got rocked. We all got hit different ways by COVID. I was like you, workaholic. My family's amazing as well. Like nobody ever complained. And so by nobody complaining, we had smiles, and they went through the motions that they grew up in the military.
because I married my wife early. We were 19 going on 20. Like, we were young. We went through it together. Nobody really said anything, but when COVID hit and we went in a lockdown because of training manager, I went to where I had to go in. So I spent a lot of time at home, and it let me look up and like, man, hold on, I've been neglecting my family. And so I was blessed. I was right at the 20-year mark. I'm like, no, I saw what was finna happen, and I was like, nah, I've gave y'all everything. Nobody complained. So now it's time for me to let them. It's crazy because it's like, let them dictate everything. And it's funny because as you were talking, my wife chimed in with the heart emoji. That was her. What's up, babe? It's like to give back to them. And now my kids, especially my youngest, they see me at home and they're like, you're doing all something. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to build this now because I feel like I'm behind the curve. Because like you said, that change in the generation, somebody has to do it.
Right.
And I chose it to be me and my wife, just like you choose it, you and your wife to do it, because somebody has to change it so that our kids and those after don't repeat the same things. Not that we made mistakes, but we want to make it better. But you said some things that I don't want. First, we're finna go back. We want to know about this $2 million that was saved. Because I don't know about you, we all like to save a little money. And if you got a little tip you want to sneak in there and leave us with, we more than willing to accept it.
Yes, sir, man. I had an honor and a privilege just to be able to go through the Dave Ramsey program and be able to host that at our church. So the principles that they, went over, the baby steps, getting your first start with, your $1,000 savings emergency fund, and then kind of working your way and doing like a debt snowball. So those were some of the things that we kind of worked on as a team, because once we came together, we were like a family. We held one another accountable, and we just made ourselves, be disciplined enough to where if we were going out to eat and we was doing a lot of extra stuff that was in the way of our goal, we would cut that out temporarily to go towards our debt. So that was something that we put together a plan to do that. And now that's something that I live to do, setting up budgets, getting on plans where you stick to this budget. Dave Ramsey had a thing called, every dollar. He had a budget plan that called, every dollar. So you would do that budget every month, before the month started, to know where your money was going. You would kind of zero it out as best as you could. And me being a math guy, that's something that I always look to do. But it was a joy just to be able to see and help families meet their goal. Even in the military, I was more excited. It brought more joy when my team got awards or they did different things, and I helped kind of coach or push them to do that. So that kind of stuff, you have that inner joy, and it just makes you excited and motivated to keep going, even through all the other craziness that might come at you.
You just basically broke down your own gift to everybody else, and I'm not finna let it go by, because I don't even know if you think you did it as well as you did, because it was amazing. The 21 years of service in the ministry, teaching financial freedom and everything, but you just said it. You were like, remember you said you were smart in school, but you weren't going to be dedicated. Everybody has a gift. Your gift revolves around numbers. You just told us what it is, and we didn't, because I was sitting here waiting to try and figure out what it was exactly. Your gift revolves around the same as somebody that cooks. And it's different ways that I'm saying this, because it's somebody out there whose gift is numbers. They don't know it, or they've been told, but I want you to understand how Dunn used his gift for numbers. You could have been in finance. You could go to stock markets. It's so many different ways to do numbers. You chose it to help start building financial legacy for others. And you did it by what? Putting a team around you. And just like you said about when you're in the military, you were happy for your team to get the accolades. That's how the gifts work. When people are giving their gifts away, those that are around them will prosper, but they can't prosper without your gift. So I'm thanking you on behalf of those people, Dunn. Thank you for giving out your gift so those people can prosper, all the way down to when you did the financial part, $2.2 million, because you implemented a gift. And just like he said, you have for your life, you have to have a plan for your gift and your purpose. You also have to have a plan for your finances. Now, I don't know if it can be done, but I want to know, can you give us, because you said 8 steps, Can you summarize those 8 steps for those of us that don't know exactly what you're talking about?
Summarize, talking about Dave Ramsey steps or my steps?
You said what if you got your own steps, we'll take that too. I don't know if you know, we taking notes. I need the information too.
Well, the biggest thing I know was, definitely starting out, getting your emergency fund, that $1,000 emergency fund. Most people that, make over 25,000 a year, that's something that they should do, or you can start at least getting 500 put aside. And then you would kind of work towards attacking your debt, starting with the smallest or the highest interest. Everybody kind of picks their own thing, but I think if you pick the smallest debt, that motivation as you kill that first one, it'll just give you the momentum to keep going and staying with it and sticking with it until you get to the end. You kind of just got, small goals that you keep hitting those small goals and you keep getting motivated to stick with it. So the baby steps of, knocking out your debt. And then once you kind of get, done with all your consumer debt, then you can start, building up a savings fund for about 3 to 6 months of expenses. And then that's when you can start investing. Now, for me, I believe you should start investing even in the beginning, even if it's a small amount. If you can put $50 a month away just to start, because I think you really need to pay yourself to put that, away towards, a mutual fund or something. But I'm a God-fearing man as well. So I always look at it as this, God bless us with 100%. We give 10% when it comes to tithes and offering. Then you pay yourself 10%, with savings, and then you invest 10%, and then you should be able to live off 70%. Now, of course, if we are overextended, you might not be able to do that in the beginning, but you could start to get yourself to start closing that gap.
Man. I like 10, 10, 10, 10, 70. 10% to God, 10% to yourself, 10% to investment, and then 70 to live off of. Man, I needed that one. Appreciate that one. Of course, we're going to talk more offline, but I'm pretty sure just like I needed it, everybody else needed it. And so with that being said, when you came up with the name Brown Financial Freedom Legacy, so for me, I have my 5 pillars, which is faith, family, fitness, finance, and freedom. Those are the pillars I live by. So you say financial freedom. How did you come up with that name? Because I know that name has to mean something. It has to have something behind it.
It's all about the name. Legacy. At the end of the day, that's really what it is. I want to be able to leave something, like the Bible says, you want to be able to leave things, to your kids' kids. So I'm setting up stuff now, which I wish I would have did it years ago, but we all got to start somewhere. So the goal is to make sure I'm setting things up, not only financially, but spiritually and everything else. But I want to set up things at least 2 generations out, and start putting things in place. And when we look at it, when you look at families like Ford and, Chase and, the Rothschilds and stuff like that, they've been living off this loan money for so long, but we've been missing out. And these are the things that we can start putting in place. And one of those vehicles is life insurance to protect your income. So that's, to me, a foundation of getting that life insurance in place to make sure your income is covered if something was to happen while you was to die young, but then your family would be taken care of and they wouldn't have to struggle. So that to me, that's something that's very, very necessary. And not just some life insurance. You need that, I would say, we call this DOM method, where you need to know your DOM number pretty much, when it comes to the death benefit, which we know is about $15,000. You will want to make sure you had that set in place. And then your income, you want to make sure you're protecting your income for at least 10 years. So your family wouldn't have to struggle for at least 10 years. So you would want to, so say, I'm going to just use an example. Somebody made $25,000 a year. They will want to have at least $250,000 for just themselves, plus the death benefit. And then if you have a mortgage, you will want to have at least $100,000 or more set aside for that. And then if you have children and you want to send them to college, you will want to have at least $100,000 for that. So like, this is not even getting anybody rich. Based off of that example that I just said, you needed at least $455,000 just to make it where your family didn't have to struggle for the next 10 years. But they gonna have to live more than 10 years. So people don't really think life insurance is important, but this is something that you want to make sure you set in place, and then you can always up your insurance down the road as well.
Wow. That's a different type of planning for financial, because most people, including myself, in the past, we're thinking financial planning, it's the budgeting, making sure the bills are, but you took it a step further, because that legacy piece of making sure in the event that, because we got to be honest, God is going to call us all home, but you're setting them up for everything that happens after that fact. I like how you put that, because you said something earlier when you were talking about when you were in Japan and you're like the opportunities that were coming. And you said just recently, you wish you would have known it back then, but you got to start somewhere. And I want everybody out there to understand that you have to start somewhere, and you are having the opportunity right now for Dunn to give you this info, and he's telling you the bits and pieces, and the opportunity for you to start that is now. No opportunities wasted. So get on it now, because it's no time better than right now to start setting your family up for the future. Because let's be honest, we're not always going to be here. God is going to call us home, and they're going to be dependent on that. And the legacy starts with somebody, and it might as well be you, man. So I'm sorry, Dan, I got to keep picking your brain, because you got my mind working overtime right now. I had to look over here looking at my little financial board where I'm marking off while I'm doing stuff. So for somebody that's, like you just said, didn't start back then, but they're starting now. You told us about the $1,000 to work on that. But what kind of advice or motivation? Because let's be honest, when people hear stuff like they hear this now, we're like, yes, we're going to go do it. What's that motivation or inspiration that you use? Because we don't have the team you have right now that started to 2.2 million. What's that motivation or inspiration that you would give somebody to get them going and keep them going as they go through these daily goals?
The biggest motivation, man, I think you got to get to a place of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. To me, that's really where it started. It's no perfect word to really say, but I think the biggest thing is holding yourself accountable and putting yourself around people that have the same like mind, and y'all can take this journey together. Of course, but if you have that in front of you, like, man, I want to do this for my family. If that's your why, then that would be the biggest motivation that you have. If your why is pushing you, then that would direct you, but then you can have coaching, or you can have a support system to help make sure you hit your goals and you don't give up too easily.
You did it again. So for one, we always talk about your why, because that's part of your purpose. So you have to identify your why, because your why is what keeps you going. Just the same way your why might be your family that makes you get up and go pay those bills, go to work so you can get that money. Your why needs to also be why you leave something behind for them. Because I've watched so many people out here in the world today, and we're just running full speed. Work, no play, like work, trying to keep up. And all we're doing is moving fast to arrive safely at death. And then we arrive safely at death. You have nothing, and your family doesn't have anything left for themselves, because you didn't worry about your family, because you might be like me and Dunn, we're straight workaholics. And then on top of that, you have to get a circle around you. I want everybody, let me move in a little closer. Your circle. I know you start with somebody. Just because people start with you doesn't mean they're supposed to go with you to the end. It's not a bad thing. They have a vision for their life just like you have a vision for your life. It's nothing wrong if you have to go different ways. It's all about you and your family getting to that finish line. So, hey, if you got to put a different circle around you, make sure you have people, a circle of trust on top of that can help you get to your goals that you have in your life, especially when it comes to financial freedom, because that's how you need it. You have to have a team. You have to network. Nobody does anything in this world alone. We can start something. We can say we do it, but somebody helps you along the way. Even if it's the bank or helps you along the way. Nobody does it alone. So make sure you got a circle. Now, you talked about that circle, Darren, but many people out there like me had to bump my head a few times from finding these individuals in my circle. It was easy growing up when you were in school, like, we're all on the basketball team. It was easy in the Air Force because, like, we work together. Like, But for somebody that just goes to work every day and comes home, and they just have the people they work with or the family members, especially this day and age with COVID, and nobody really interacting like that, how do you find certain people that fit this circle? What are some different avenues somebody can take?
Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, me, the first place is the house of God. I feel like that would be some like-minded individuals that you should be able to find. And for one, I mean, you know, you got to pray, and the Bible is, I think, is our best guide when it comes to, you know, setting vision, writing it out, making it plain, as well as financial principles. You know, so when we utilize that, and then we get around like individuals, whether they in the church, you find some people, you know, on your job that are going in the same direction, because everybody in the job don't have the same mindset, but you have to find them. And I think most of the time you kind of find one another. You know, as the word, as it says, birds of a feather flock together. You know what I mean? So people kind of just gravitate to kind of what you have, or you're like-minded, or even just some of your, you know, your hobbies or whatever. You will kind of find those individuals if you're open to it. You know, as the Bible said, if you want to have friends, you have to show yourself friendly. So you got to make sure you're open enough to be able to meet new people that may have what you need. And they may have the gift, they may have the tools, they may be able to direct you. And when we hear training or different leadership tips, you want to go find people that already achieve what you're trying to do. You know, so you need to go seek those people out. They might not never come seek you out, but you go seek those mentors out, and find the ones that actually are passionate about it versus just half stepping. But that's a whole nother thing. But you want to look for people that have your best interests, and they already kind of know where you're trying to go.
Whew, I like how you said that. You said, we already talked about the plan, financial plan, the plan for your life. And you said the Bible, and I'm big on the Bible too. And I want everybody to understand, God, the Bible, he's already given you the playbook. It's on you to get up and go run the play. You can't run the play without the playbook.
That's good.
He's already got it. It's out there. It's in the pages. I always read them. And that's the first step. I like that first step. That is a good one. And the second one, finding the like-minded people, the birds of the feather flock together. I want you to understand something. It's no different. If you say you want a yellow car, when you go outside, you're going to all of a sudden start seeing a lot of yellow cars. If your mind is always negative, you're only going to see the negative. When you start reframing all that and think the positive is going to come. When you open up, as Don says, and they see that friendly nature and who you are, it's going to invite those same individuals. A person that wants to be a bad individual doesn't try to be good. It's impossible. They don't do it. They just want to be bad. Somebody that wants to be good and wants to be great and wants to get better, they're going to go, and it's going to attract each other. You don't attract what you want. You attract who you are. I want y'all, let me say it again for y'all. You don't attract what you want. You attract who you are. And that's how Dunn has built his circle. And I wanted y'all to get that, because that's how you find the individuals that come into your circle. Ooh, y'all get me over here with Dunn. We be having ministry. But I'm gonna go, because you said some more stuff, Dunn. I told you we're gonna pick this thing down. You said we talked about the circle. We talked about the plan. Now we got to go back. We have to go back, because you said about the military. I get that. Something, because you're talking legacy. I want you to think back with me now. What about you, not just going in the military, and I'm going somewhere with this, the family members that got your mind frame to start going the way with legacy? What did they do or say to you?
Well, I mean, I wasn't planning on going on this road, but I would have to say the lack of being there pushed me. You know, so I didn't have good role models in my life. You know, for one, my father wasn't in my life until pretty much I got grown, is where, you know, we developed a better relationship. I mean, he was in and out of my life, you know, growing up, but the principles and how to be a man and all of that stuff, I had to kind of learn that from the streets and uncles and bad examples. You kind of just, you know, basically going through life. But for me, I had to hit rock bottom. You know, I had to bump my head. I had to go through trials. I had to do everything that Don needed to do to get out the way to really find who Don really is. You know, and all of that came once I had a relationship with God. I had the mindset, you know, to go after it. When I look at it, resiliency is really something that God birthed in me my whole life. Not even really knowing it, even though, you know, military taught some things and I got put in positions to be a master resilience trainer in the military and being able to share my story. But my whole life pretty much is just resilience after resilience. And I told you a little bit, you know, about my mom in 2021, but I didn't share with you that me thinking I was healthy, you know, pretty much going through life, didn't really have no issues. God in that situation had to show me that I needed to get heart surgery. So in all of that in 2021, I went through grieving my mom, but I'm thankful that God even showed me that I had something that I needed to get my heart regrafted. I had to get my arteries regrafted. So I had to have open heart surgery. So going through all of that, that was a lot of stress, but God was preparing me for it. He put people in my place to minister to me, to encourage me, but he allowed me to go through all of that to make me stronger, to be able to even see different, to have a different perspective. And all of that, I think, ties together. So like you kind of mentioned, like what started me down this path, I think my whole childhood brought me into the military. And I got to share something, man. I grew up in the projects. You know, my mom was on drugs at one season in her life. So all of that and having to raise my little brothers as a child, God was preparing me for today. You know, so when we look at the story in the Bible about Joseph and different things like that, I didn't know I was going to have to be the one to reach back to really pull my family forward. But God was putting things in place for me to be able to be positioned to do it. You know, so all of those situations made me stronger. It made me be able to see different. And God still put a love in my heart to not have unforgiveness, to still, you know, allow myself to love, to allow myself to go back and help people that may have hurt me. And not hold anything, because like me, like I've sinned many times and God still loves us unconditionally. So why can't I reach back and help those? So that's a lot, but I'm gonna stop there. But that's kind of some of the stuff that kind of got me to where I'm at right now.
So I asked that question because for those of you that weren't with us last, yeah, I know. For those of y'all that wasn't with us last week, we kind of covered those family members, like they do stuff for you, but they're not trying to stop you from following your dreams or living your purpose because they don't want you to be great. They're doing it because they want you to be safe. And like I told you, it's like crossing the street. They hold your hand until they feel you're safe enough to do it on your own. But at the same time, you have those situations like Dunn where the family members that should be there aren't there. And that doesn't mean that you still can't achieve greatness. Like one of the biggest things that I learned while I was in the military, and I know Dunn, you know this too as well, when it comes to leadership, we're always taught to be the leader we wish we would have had when we needed them. And so going through life, Dunn had experienced certain things, and it made him into the man that he wished he would have had around as he was growing up. Like, yes, he got him in different ways, and different people in his life was able to help him get to where he is now. But it helped learn the tools. And I say that because I want everybody to understand that everything that you need to live in your purpose, everything you need to be successful and great, to reach greatness, you already have inside of you. You have it. It's just waiting on you to unlock it. It's just like a gift. You have the gift inside of you. People are just waiting for you to give it away. Like Dunn said, he grew up in the projects. He didn't have all that. And those same things that he had to learn, unless you're out there and you're one of those individuals who just were born into wealthy families. But for majority of us around the world, we're not born in a wealthy family. It's no different than a person that's coming out of the ghetto that's trying to get somewhere else. And Dunn said in the beginning, first he knew he had to get up out of Ohio. That's the military route. You know you have financial issues because you weren't born into that money like some people are. You have to get up out of your normal circumstance. Got to be willing to get uncomfortable to get to where you want to be. And it takes somebody like Dunn he already snuck in the 8 steps. He gave you his own personal steps on top of that for financial freedom. He shared with you his life, because you have a life too. You have a story. Something got you to where you are right now. And it's not possible, but you can get further because everything you need is already inside of you. Now I say that, Dunn, because of the simple fact, because of where you are right now. And there's people out there, because you retire like I am, hit the 40 mark, we done. When you look back and you know what you did not have and where you are now, because there's people out there listening that they got kids, family members younger than them. They're in the same spot as us that didn't get this growing up. Give us, and could you tell us what you're not just teaching the younger, but your own kids, so that they can pass those same messages and that knowledge along, so that their kids can start getting better and be in a better position by the time they get to our age.
It broke up a little bit. I didn't catch the beginning of it. I caught a little bit of it.
The part about your where you're at right now in life and what you had to go through to get here. We have individuals out there, because remember, everybody didn't start back then. We're all starting now. What would you tell the rest of the viewers out there? Because we have small kids, younger kids. What are those financial lessons that you are instilling in them now, so that they can be in a better position to not just change the generations, but a better position when they get to our age?
Wow. I would preface that. What would I tell the 18-year-old me?
The 18-year-old you that you're also teaching your kids.
For one, not to go into debt. So, the military, I think, kind of give us that false sense of security where, I got a paying job. I'm getting paid first in the 15th, so we can kind of overextend ourselves and be in debt, and you taking years to get out of it. But I think one of the biggest things that I learned that I would want to tell my kids, wait. Things that you want, wait on it. Don't go into debt and do it. And my mindset now is create a business that bring in an extra stream of income to basically support and provide for your needs and wants. That's probably one of the biggest things that I can probably see, but definitely if you can prevent it, do not go into debt. Wait, have that sense of, where I can have that delayed gratification. That's probably the biggest nugget that I could give, but as well as being disciplined with your budgets, sticking to a budget and living beneath your means. Like I went to this millionaire mansion that, that we were able to win in Atlanta. And what the guy told me, he was like, man, he focuses on to live off 30% of what he make. So I said 70%, but my goal would be,
wow.
Excuse me. But if I can live off 50% of my income, or even 30%, and I'm able to save, give, because, whatever I like giving, I like sewing, but if I can live off of 50% or 30% of my income, like, he opened up a whole new dreamer for me.
Wow.
So I would definitely say live way beneath your means. Gotta be disciplined to do it. You gotta put action on it, and you gotta watch what's coming in, watch what's going out, so you can stay disciplined to it.
You dropped a couple nuggets there. For one, when you said sowing, I want everybody to understand that you reap what you sow. So that delayed gratification that Dunn's talking about, that not going into debt, you reap what you sow. Like, we all want something as soon as we see it, but you have to wait. Think about it. I want you to look at it this way. You either wait to when you can financially afford it, or you get into debt, and over that whole time you could have waited, it's going to take you that plus more to try to get out of that debt, and all you had to do was wait. So by not waiting, you're reaping what you're sowing because you got in that debt too early. But if you would have waited and had that patience and dedication, that's the biggest thing. Patience is a virtue. Done, you're throwing out all the Bible verses here. Patience is a virtue. Reap what you sowing. Our brother Corey Brown turning in talking about seek God first. When you do all these things, then you won't be in the situation. These are things we weren't taught growing up. They teach us about math, history, science, all this geometry, social studies in school. They didn't teach us about no financial literacy. So it's on us to learn it and teach it to those behind. That's how you start the legacy. And the one way to get it is by listening to Brown Financial Freedom Legacy. Bro, you've been dropping nuggets. Now, that's what you would tell the old. But you already said it a million times about plan. If you're telling them to wait and telling them not going into debt too early, and you just said about the 50-30%, what's the other thing on the other side that you would tell the old you and the young kids that you're raising to set the bar to for their future so that they can have something in the middle to make that plan? Because you can start somewhere, but you have to have a goal to try and achieve. What's that one or two things that you would tell them on the other end to try to get to the next level?
Well, I think we already kind of mentioned it, but you definitely would you would want to save. You would definitely want to put money to the side to be able to do that. At the end of the day, like we got to have the grind, we got to have the grit to go after what we want. I mean, it's all throughout the scriptures. He want us to be fruitful and multiply, but we gotta work with it. So if we have those dreams, we have those visions, and if we have the mindset that I want to set my family up 2 generations out, I have to start now, and I have to start putting money to the side, and I need to be creating multiple streams of income. Like my whole mindset right now is I need to have at least 7 streams of income coming in. But that's a whole nother thing.
7?
We need to have at least 7.
Oh, okay. So I need to step my game. You just said it without saying it, but you have the goals and dreams, but you would tell the younger you and the kid to start working earlier to build up that 7 strings that'll help you get to that goal of the financial freedom that you're looking for, where you can live off of 30%. Because you don't know, Dan, that gave me a new. I was with you because I was thinking 50% with you. But now I'm like, I need to get it. That's a new goal for me, 30%. And okay. And I got to do that. So I need to up my streams of income, because I think right now I'm sitting around like 4. So I need to figure out 3 more. I think I know what they are. Matter of fact, what would you think? What would give us? What are 7 streams of income you thinking about?
For me, well, for us, military already gave us. So if you could get a retirement check, hey, that's a stream. Disability, that's a stream. You definitely want to have a business. But see, 2021 really opened my eyes up to crypto. So I think right now, and this is just Don talking. This ain't really no financial advice, but I feel like cryptocurrency is the new wave. And if you find you a platform that you can sow into that's giving you, 15% a month, 30% a month, like that's another stream of income that you can live off of. Different investments, mutual funds, it's so many different, like that whole different thing. And then like I want to get into Turo and Airbnb. Like I have a couple rental properties and stuff like that, but my mind is stretching to go for more. Like, people are looking at, hey, I want a car. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I want to buy a new car through my business and then rent it out. So I've seen some people that, they bought Mercedes Benzes with their business, and now they listed on Turo, and then they went from 1 to 5. So it's so many opportunities out there, but you got to find something that you're passionate about. And for me, financial realm is kind of my thing, but then real estate has also been a thing for me. So I'm trying to see what I can find.
Wow. So you're going to be at that 30% a lot sooner You said rental cars, Airbnb, crypto, real estate, the financial freedom that you work at, got the business, the retirement, and the disability. So that's 7. Y'all didn't get them. Now, he also said, do what makes you happy. Do that. That's what makes Dunn happy. Now, if some of those things, like for me, they align. Some of my stuff align with what Dunn does to make him happy. If some of those things, he just gave you 7 options to start with, even if you got to change them up later on. But start, we got to get to 7. So let me rephrase that. Don't go out there and run and try to start all 7 at once. That's not what we're saying.
That ain't what we're
don't do that. One at a time. Start with the 1. You start at the 7. We're not doing good with financial advice right now. Start with the 1. Master the 1, and then please don't run out there and just start 7 and something go wrong. Be like, well, Dunn and Billy said get 7, and you no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Start with 1 and then work your way up. Remember, he told you, start getting to the $1,000. We got to still stick with the principles before we get to the 7 businesses. Start with the $1,000. Get that saved up. Got to have an emergency fund. And then next, he said that we got to start snowballing the debt. Start with the lowest percent or the lowest one to build up that momentum. Whatever you want to do, however you want to do, and then get to where you have 2 to 3 months worth of savings. These are the lessons that Dunn told us to start with, and that advice. And make sure you get a circle to hold you accountable and hold them accountable so you can get there, so we can start building to where we can get to the 7 streams of income. But please make sure we get our own personal debt handled first before we jump to 7 streams of income. but no, with that being said, man, you have dropped some knowledge on us now. I don't want you to just run away too soon now, because I still got some more questions after the show. But I gotta ask. I do this to everybody. I do it to everybody. I don't care if it's on finances. I don't care if it's on life. I don't care, whatever you want. Something that you want to tell the audience that either you knew it back then, learned it over time, mindset now. Tell the audience something that's gonna help them go out there and not just manifest their destiny or their goals or dreams, but something that to help them succeed so that they can.
Ooh. I think for me the biggest thing is and we hear it and we see it in the Bible a lot, but really those positive affirmations, reading your Bible, but speaking and decreeing and declaring the word over your life. I think that's something that really taking things to another level, because God got me to certain places with where I was at in my faith level, but now it's like the power is in my mouth, and I need to watch what I'm saying for one, but then I need to be choosing to speak life only, but I also need to make sure I'm speaking and not just being silent. I think that's one of the things, and of course, writing the vision down. Your goals got to be written down in stone, wherever you put it at, on paper, on your phone, on the wall, wherever, but you keep, going over that daily. That's something that really has helped me go to the next level of putting some things that I've been thinking about for years, but now things is happening, so I don't really know which one is it, but timing is perfect, I know, for one, but I think the discipline is another.
Wow. All right, man. I'm finna sum this up because the power of the tongue. You have to speak it into existence. It ain't just gonna happen. You have to verbally put it out there. The power of the tongue. And then he said the vision. We have to see. You have to see the vision in order for the vision to see you. And then you said about the discipline, because it's not gonna happen if you don't stay dedicated and don't stay disciplined in order for it to come through. In order for you have to make your vision a reality. To sum it up, I'm gonna give you an easy, simple one, just so you can write it down yourself. Because he said write your vision down. I'm finna say this so y'all can have this and write it down and keep saying it every day in your head. Say it, see it, seize it. Let me say it again. Say it, see it, seize it. Say it, see it, seize it. That's what I want you to do, because that's how you're going to turn your vision into a reality. Man, Don, you have dropped some stuff on us tonight. And, bruh, I appreciate you. Now, do you got anything else you want to leave the audience? Because I see your mind running over there. Do you have anything else you want to leave them?
Man, that's a mic drop. You said it. Say it, see it, seize it. I think that's something that we really need to run with. It's more I can say, but I know we're on a time limit. But that was powerful. That was powerful.
Man, well, brother, I appreciate you for coming on and blessing us with your knowledge tonight, man. It was really great. We really appreciate you. We thank you so much.
Appreciate y'all for having me, man. It's been an honor and a privilege. I knew you was going to pull a lot of things out because I've seen some of your other shows and you definitely did it. But, you know, you brought out what was already in me, man. But I definitely appreciate the opportunity. Awesome.
Oh, no. Don't get it wrong. You coming back. We gonna find a way. We might still, me and Ernest, we might still, because we got some stuff we didn't get to talk. That's some more in you. And you said it at the show. During the show, you said if I get to going, that'll be another show. So we bringing you back. So don't you worry about that. Now, I don't want you to go nowhere because I'm gonna talk to you after the show. So don't log off this yet. But I want to again, we thank you for being here, man. And we look forward to seeing you again. But until then, brother, I'll see you on the other side.
Yes, sir.
Man, y'all thought I was playing. Now, if you don't feel like Don has left you a legacy, he gave us some starting points. Now, remember, we talked about a plan and everything. And he talked about the Bible. And we said it. God is giving you the playbook, but it's on you to run the play. It's God has provided another person. We get it every Thursday, another individual that gives you another tools and nuggets to add to your toolbox so you can go out there and live in your purpose. They give you these tools so you can understand how your gift matches theirs, how your life coincides with theirs. It's not by chance that we mirror each other in certain aspects of our life. And if somebody else can do it, so can you. So it's time for you to also not just live in your purpose, but set your family up with financial freedom. All you have to do is it's already in the chat. Brown Financial Freedom Legacy. He's on all platforms. Go look him up. He'll answer all your questions. He's already said it. I'm here to serve. Brown Financial Freedom Legacy. Man, if y'all didn't get something out of this, I know I did. But as always, I thank you all for tuning in. It's been a blessing having you. We'll be back next week, same time. 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Thursday. And again, we thank you. I want to see you next week. Take these tools and start using them, because I want you, the whole purpose of this show is I want you to live in your purpose, with purpose, on purpose. I'll see y'all next week.
Hi, my name is Billy Graham Jr.
Growing up, everybody thought I was going to be an actor. They're like, you're funny, you should go be an actor. I was like, I can't be an actor, can't you see? What is my purpose? If you're like me, I lost my purpose. I didn't know who I was. I let society put me in a box. I don't want you to be in the box anymore. Because you and you only are the one carbon copy. There is no other you. So how can you be in a box if it's only one you? So you need to steal your power back. Because we gave it to somebody. I want you to say, steal your power back. Steal your power back.
Mr. Graham said, I am an original, I'm not a photocopy.
You are where it begins. It begins with you and only you. You are the director. You are the author of this book. Nobody should be writing your life story. You are the win. See, a lot of us, we get caught up in wondering when we're supposed to do something, why we're supposed to do something, where we're supposed to begin. But I'm telling you, you are the author of your book, and that's all that matters.
My time here in Kenya has been amazing. Everybody has welcomed us with open arms ever since we landed. Nothing but hospitality, nothing but family. We felt like we were home.